Bob, it's been a long time coming. I was going to get you on my podcast way back, but I know you don't like to travel because you're not good with the roads in Sydney anymore. I'm only joking.
I only live across the road, mate.
But Bob, you're a legend of the game. 4 grand finals, was it 4 grand finals? Six grand finals. How many did you win? 3?
Four.
4 grand finals. You played 206 games for the Rabbits. Was it 206?
No, 211.
211. 40 for the Canterbury-Bankstown, the Berries.
Yeah, it's 52, 51.
Actually, you played 211 because you came back and played a season in 78 and you got 5 games there.
Yeah.
Obviously, your coaching goes way back to Brisbane, 1981.
Yeah, I took over from Wayne Bennett.
Yeah.
We won a few comps in all grades, and then I finished up. They didn't have any money left to pay me.
Yeah.
Because we're winning they didn't allow for the lower grades to win.
Okay.
They just allowed for the first grade. Well, I coached all grades of a Tuesday, and Thursdays they went to respective coaches, and then they won a lot of comps too, and they had to pay all this money for these kids. It was first grade, second grade, third grade, under 21s, and then another grade up there called the open grade, which was for blokes that was just a bit longer in the tooth.
Yeah.
And they come and trained of a Tuesday night and played of a weekend, and we won a couple of comps with them too. So
wow. So you took over Wayne?
Yeah, Wayne got sacked, yeah.
Hey, wait a second.
They got thrashed 26-0 in the grand final by Wally Lewis's side.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, obviously, did Wayne play the game?
Yeah, he played with me in the 1971 Australian tour to New Zealand.
Did he?
Yeah, he was...
What was he like? What was he like as a player?
Oh, mate, well,
if you had to give him a score,
I always wondered how he got in because we had better players in our lower grades than him. But I found out years later that his grandfather was the Queensland Australian selector.
Oh, wow.
And you'd pick your own. Look, when I was Australian selector, if my grandkids were available, I'd have picked them. I'd have picked yours too.
I would have made it in. Mascot Junior would have made it in.
Yeah, you'd have been.
You played for Moore Park, so
Moore
you're
Park.
local, mate. You're as local as they get.
Well, I played with Chelsea first.
Yeah.
And then Moore Park come into the competition in I think it was 59, and everyone used to give you jumpers and socks. Moore Park, when they come in, gave you shorts also. Yeah. And coming from Redfern, like no one had any money, and it was just like lighting your eyes up. I said, well, I'm going to that new club to get shorts, you know.
Wow.
Same me buying them. Because we used to play in sort of khaki sort of shorts, work shorts.
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't have any money, no one had any shoes or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's so you then made obviously your debut through the
juniors.
The juniors.
Well, I didn't play lower grades. I played Jersey flag in '61, and we went to New Zealand. I played next year. Got picked in President's Cup, which was another 4 years up. I was only 17, but it was under 21, and we won that in the cricket ground in front of 72,000 people.
Wow!
But they didn't come to see us. Australia was playing after us, Australia and England.
Oh.
But we played in front of that big crowd, and we beat Balmain. And then the next year, Souths asked me to come and try out, and I went straight into first grade.
And you know, back in those days, obviously, there was still New South Wales, but it wasn't like the state of origin. Who were you guys playing? Queensland, obviously.
Yeah, Queensland was there then, and because we used to, the lease clubs down here used to buy Queensland's better players, we used to beat them every year. So the Queensland got sick and tired of it, so someone had the suggestion of picking where you were born. And so Queensland picked that first time. They picked Arthur Beetson. Chris Close was playing in Sydney, I think, and there's a few other blokes who were there. They brought up Rod Morris. And they knocked New South Wales over, and from there it was born. But if New South Wales would have won that night again, it would have just gone down. But Queensland always had, like back when I captained New South Wales and that back in the day, and people, there was no TV then, but people used to see the paper and say, oh, New South Wales won 45-10, Queensland are hopeless. But Queensland were in the game up until the last 10 minutes. Oh, wow. They had always had tough players, like their blokes come down from the mines and all that type of stuff, and they were tough. But they just ran out of nick compared to us. Well, we were supremely fit. I mean, I used to run around all these hills here with Ronnie Curtin and Gary Stevens, and we were super fit. And we used to run over the top of them in the last 10 minutes, but people didn't see that because there was no television. They just read the paper that New South Wales thrashed Queensland again. But they were always in the fight, so it was just a matter of them going, updating their personal fitness, and then they'll come along. And luckily for them, when I went up there in 1980, I was there, Beetson was there, Tom Rodonicus was there, Ross Strubbick there. These are all blokes who played in the Sydney comp. And I think they instilled into them the fitness level you had to play to play in Sydney. And from there, luckily for them, they had a great team coming through at the time. Wally Lewis, Mel Meninga, Gene Miles, Chris Close, all these champion players.
That's right.
And from there, they just sort of built on that, and away they went.
Yeah.
They always still use, before they run on the field, remember the 1950s and the 40s when they used to
Really?
beat us by 50. That's why they come out, when that hunger, they come out and they fly at you.
Yeah.
And they still bring it up.
So in the sheds with the Queensland, like obviously I've been watching State of Origin all my life.
Yeah.
There's a it's like hate's a harsh
Like a
word,
hatred, yeah.
but it's a proper hatred, right?
Oh,
like
it
in
is,
their
yeah,
sheds,
yeah.
it's like, mate, if we let these guys beat us, we're fucking shit.
Yeah.
You know,
But
we're going to live with ourselves.
But it goes right through the whole state, like it's not just the football fraternity. You'll find, you go to Queensland that day, they play up there. Doctors, lawyers, everyone goes to work with their Queensland jumper on. If we done that down here, they tend to go back home and put your suit on.
Yeah.
But up there, it's just a religion. They just, the whole state gets behind you, and that's what they tell them before they run on the field. The whole state's behind you, whereas a quarter of our state be watching State of Origin, and the rest be doing other things. Like, we've got so much to do down here, and that's why they find that, they come out, they've got so much hunger and hatred for us. To us, it's just another game, even though we like to win.
Yeah.
They just come out with more
hunger.
More hunger, and they're more vicious. Like they're truly vicious out there in the State of Origin.
Well, you know, when you were playing for Souths back then, obviously he's had a tremendous runs.
Yeah.
Some greats like Sattler, Kurt, Eric Sims, Mike Cleary, John O'Neill. Like, he's had, such great players. Like, it was like there was a different element of toughness within South Sydney, and you fast forward to today, and are you still as strong a supporter of Souths because you grew up with it in your blood, right? Are you still as strong a supporter today, or how do you feel about it today?
Well, I'm not real happy the way they're playing at the moment, but growing up in Redfern and playing for Souths, I coached them, captained them. Naturally, it's in my DNA, and I watch them up until the last couple of weeks. I've been watching them till half time, and I just don't think they're fit enough at the moment. They get about 30 or 40 points put on them in the second half, and that's attributed to one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not fit because they're not tackling, and if you can't tackle, it means you're not fit to get there. So something's got to be done about that. It's like Manly last night.
Terrible.
Manly last 2 weeks.
Fuck,
They fell apart.
I felt like throwing up watching that.
Well,
shit.
that's the last 2 weeks now. Something's got to be said about them. I mean, look at that young Schuster kid.
Yeah.
They gave him 800,000. Did you see how big he is?
Yeah, I know.
And they let him
It's
eat
ridiculous.
45 hamburgers a day and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got to be pulled into gears. But I think a lot of these clubs have, what do they call them now?
Manly lost that game in 6 minutes yesterday. 3
know.
tries in 6 minutes in the back end of the first half.
Yeah. Well, what do they call these blokes now that's in the clubs? They sort of ascertain your fitness levels and all that. What do they call them? Cultural.
High performance coach.
High performance, yeah. Well, they've
What
got
do they
those
do?
blokes. Well, what do they do? Because they wouldn't be getting 4 bob. They're getting big money, and Manly and South are just show an example of what happens in the second half if you're not fit.
Yeah.
You get snappled on.
Yeah.
Now,
Look, let's go back to that, right? So, I hate to say this, but every club, Wayne Bennett's coming back to South, but every club is beaten it.
Yeah.
Thereafter that, the next person
Falls apart.
seems to fail,
Yeah.
right? He's coming back, and it's probably a good thing. Like, I talk to a lot of South fans, they're happy, right?
Yeah.
They're happy because they know they're going to get a result with Wayne.
Yeah.
He's doing it at the Dolphins. The Dolphins had a fair few players out, and they
Got 'em up.
they rolled Manly, really.
I
the players they
tip
had.
Manly. I'm dirty on it too.
But
Yeah.
like when you're an avid supporter like we are, especially you going through the. It's funny that I'm not a South Sydney.
I can't believe it.
How the fuck did that happen?
Can't believe it. Your business in South Sydney.
Not only that,
you
I'm
live in
born in
South Sydney.
Redfern.
You're born in Redfern, and you
Grew up
follow.
in East Lakes, played for Mascot.
Oh, jeez. What
Doesn't
happened to
make
you?
sense.
Someone's got into you.
It's Murat, mate. He
Murat,
fucked me.
yeah.
He brainwashed me as a kid.
See, you've got
He said,
brainwashed.
you're going for Manly.
Yeah.
He goes, forget this South Sydney team. They're hopeless. They're not winning
But we
anything.
won all the premierships all in second grade
but
and all
not
that.
in the 80s, remember?
Oh, the 80s. Yeah.
It was Manly and Para.
It was Manly and Para. That's
That's
right.
what it
yeah.
was.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Look, sometimes I do hope, I wish I was South Sydney, but it's very hard to change. But with Wayne Bennett coming back, and you've seen Wayne in action, what does he do that gets these players going?
I don't know. Well, I took over for him in Brisbane. It didn't work up there. He couldn't win a comp up there until I went there. And we won 11 in all grades in the 4 years I was there.
Yeah.
And then he took over after me again, and then he won the comp.
Yeah.
And then so when he got picked up by Canberra.
Yeah.
But
Do you reckon he learned something from you?
oh, I don't know, but he was a policeman back in those days.
Was he?
Yeah, and big, tall, lanky bloke. I think his claim to fame back then was he caught Bobby Fulton from behind. In a Queensland New South Wales game. I was captain that night, and he caught Bozo from behind, and big, tall, lanky bloke, goal kicker.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he
If you, out of 10,
he's done well as
what
coach.
would you rate him out of 10? Give us a modern day player. He
Oh,
was like,
mate, I don't know knock him and all that, but Jesus, you know, he was big and tall and lanky and good goal kicker. You know, you'd put him around about a 7 or something. You know?
That's not bad.
But he got picked for Australia, which is, you know, we can always say he played for Australia, but he didn't play a Test match.
Yeah.
Actually, the game he played over in New Zealand, I think I scored more tries than him.
Well, Bobby, he had 100 tries as a back rower.
Plus Canterbury's.
Plus Canterbury's, right?
19,
Over 100, right?
Yeah.
Mate, that's massive. Like, I was reading somewhere that you scored a length for the field try. Was it an intercept?
Yeah, I've scored a few of those, but see, back in those days, no one knew where you were.
Yeah.
Now you're on the left-hand side of the field or the right-hand side.
Yeah.
So they know, like the way they play now, outside of the Cowboys and the Dolphins, everyone plays the same game.
Yeah.
It's forward, backs ball, kick for the corner.
Yeah.
They all play the same game and got different jumpers on. The Cowboys and the other side, what did I just say? The Dolphins. They throw the ball around the first tackle like football was supposed to be when it was invented.
Yeah.
Throw the ball, keep the ball alive, the ball beat the man, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just trying to think, what was we talking about then? I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, I got mine and lost as well.
Yeah, so...
But no, we're talking about the modern day game. Like,
the modern day game, that's right. But so they all play the same game now, and it's about the tries, that's right. So back in my day, they didn't know where I was.
Yeah.
They didn't know where Bobby Fulton was.
Yeah.
They didn't know where Reg Gasney was.
Wow.
All of a sudden, we'd show up, and they wouldn't have no one there to counteract us, and away we'd go, you know. And now they know where you are.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I'd get 100 now out of it, but I'd get a couple because I'd still play wide.
Yeah, but who was the closest guy to you in the fours that was getting that many tries back then?
Well, later on after me, Steve Menzies from
That's
Manly.
right, but that was a lot.
But he played about 100 games more than me.
Yeah.
You know,
But he was playing outside Cliff Lyons as well.
Lyons, yeah, but see, when I come into the comp, we only had 8 sides.
Yeah.
Now they've got 16, so you play like I would have got more games up. So more games I played, the more tries I would have scored. And with Beaver, he played over 100 games more, and he scored about another 50 tries more than me. I'm not knocking him, but he had a lot of speed. Yeah. He would have made it back in our day too, because he you know, his speed, and he had a bit of a step on him. I know they say Cliffy Lyons made him, but at the same token, he had to get the ball off Cliffy and then get up the other end.
Yeah, that's right.
And he'd done that a lot of times, grand finals, everything, you know. Yeah.
Back in your day, obviously, like you look at rugby league today, like if you know, lately in the media, the players are coming out and suing like the clubs for the way they've been treated at training. What was it like back in your day? I mean, when you read that, what goes through your mind?
Well, mate, we used to work back then, see, so training, it wouldn't be long training sessions. Like we had blokes that were builders and carpenters and brickies labourers and brickies and whatever. Like I had a good job. I worked on the waterfront. I was a tally clerk. So I just sat on a box and counted the stuff when it come off. Yeah. And half the time when a lot of stuff was coming out the same sort of mark, I'd go up to City Tats and train with George Daugherty up there, then come back at, say, 2 hours later and then just move into my job again. And other blokes, as I said, like Gary Stevens and them blokes, they worked hard during the day. So Clive Churchill was our coach from that period when we won all the comps, and he used to train us for about 40 minutes because if he was driving a cab in those days, and if he wasn't home by 20 to 8 or 8 o'clock, his missus used to throw his tea in the garbage bin. So he used to say, that'll be enough, boys, and we'd say, no, Clive, one more up and down. No, here's all right. No, you go stale, you know. Anyway, we go across the pub and have about 50 schooners, and then come home, and Clive would go home, and tea wouldn't get shot out, and then we do the same thing. But that's why, to play the level we did, myself and like all the blokes at Souths were all mad fitness trainers, and we used to come out to Giles's across the road there when I was there, and we'd run from Giles's to Bondi and back, to Maroubra and back, to La Perouse and back. And I think that's why we all got all our hips and our knees, because we didn't have shoes back in those days. Yeah. No one ever thought of Adidas or Puma back then.
What were you wearing?
Well, it was football boots or nothing. Or if you were rich enough, you had a pair of tennis shoes on. Those what's those tennis shoes called? people that have them.
The volleys.
Volleys, volley sand shoes. Well, the only time I'd have volleys on it was if I didn't buy them, but I'd pinch them off someone, you know.
Yeah.
Well, everyone done the same.
That's what it was back then, Kenny.
Yeah.
If you didn't have the money, you'd have to pinch it.
Well, that's right. There was no money around. I mean, my first year, I was 18 when I played first grade, and I just got married. And I remember they said, we want to see you in the boardroom. And I thought, this would be good. I thought I was going to get a couple $100, you know. And they said, quid. And they said, Bob, we know you've been playing good, but. And I thought, well, here we go. And they said, we want to give you £800 a year for 4 years. And it was like being a millionaire. I'm 18. And I said,
£800 for 4 years?
For 4 years. No, a year for 4 years.
Yeah,
so I got 3,200 quid, which was unheard of back then. Like 18-year-old boy. Like all my mates were all, you know, working as storemen and all that type of stuff. And here I'm getting all this bloody money. Anyway, I finished up, as I said, I got married and we finished up living in Redfern there before I got enough to move over to South Coogee. And, I finished up losing that in a pub deal, but I'm still here in Coogee, so I'm still here. But going back, like in the day, like we all just trained because we only done 40 minutes work. Like sometimes I'd be coming home from the wars and I'd call into Centennial Park, put me joggers on or whatever, if I had a pair of volleys, and run around the whole fence in Centennial Park.
Wow.
It's 8 mile. It was 8 k's, 5 mile, all the way around the fence. And I'd do that possibly 2 times a week.
Well, how many days of the week did you train back then?
Tuesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Thursday.
Tuesday, Thursdays. That's why they put it in, you know. There was other clubs that didn't put it in, and they were the ones that were down the bottom of the table.
Was there... So the clubs that done well would actually...
All be fit.
Would the coach tell you, hey, listen, hey, Bob, do the extras, mate?
No.
Or no, he wouldn't say anything?
No, he wouldn't say anything.
He's more worried about his tea.
Unless you had a couple of games in a row, he'd be saying you looked a bit overweight. He'd be saying, you better train 3 times a week. But Clive wasn't a sort of, even though he was the best player in the world up until then, of all time, he wasn't a tactician. He was just, he made sure we're all on the same sheet of music before a game. Like he'd always say something funny, like, you know, say to Johnny Sattler, the captain, if it was raining, hey Sats, if you win the toss, make sure you run with the tide, and all this type of stuff. Like you run on the field laughing your head off. And you know, we had a centre called Bobby Hone, and he used to come down from rugby union. He used to run around in circles. And we used to put our arms up all the time to think, we'll get shepherded here. And he used to sing out, the last man out the gate, make sure you close it because Honan will run through it, you know. There was little things like that. You run on the field and these blokes now are all pumped up and we're running on things like laughing our heads off, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the day we played Balmain and got beaten that grand final, so, I think it was Dennis Donner, the president, he bought a portable TV in, and Lionel Rose was our famous fighter, boxer.
Yeah, that's
he was
right.
fighting for the world title, and he's fighting a bloke called Ruben Oliveras, and he was knocking everyone out. And everyone thought, well, he's going to get knocked out himself because Lionel Rose was everyone's idol. Yeah. Anyway, so we were watching before the game, and just 20 minutes later, we're playing the grand final. We're watching the fight, and all of a sudden, this bloke's gone crash, and Lionel Rose is out cold. So we've gone from he's out cold. That's the end of Lionel Rose. So we've all dropped our level a bit. Yeah. And then the coach and the bloke knocked on the door and said, "Come on, you've got to come out now. You're playing the grand final." And we've gone out there and we got beat.
Wow.
So that wouldn't have been real smart, like leading into
showing
the game. Showing that because everyone went from high to playing the grand final to, Jesus, I hope he's all right, that bloke. You know, he knocked him out. That might be the end of him, you know.
What made him come up with that?
Oh, he must have just brought it in thinking, I'll bring it in, give the boys something to watch before the game. Yeah. You know, thinking Lionel Rose had locked the bloke out and we'd all still be happy. Yeah. But the reverse happened. He got set on his bum, you know.
So it was almost like he almost prepared you for the upset.
The upset, yeah.
You know, when you go back on your career and you look at how kind of relaxed training was, but the games were tough, right? Because, you know, when Johnny Sattler got his jaw broken, you took the other guy out, didn't you?
Yeah.
Mate, when you got knocked out, what was going through your mind? Did you say, I'm going to take him out now?
No, not really. I knew someone's going to get him.
Someone's in your team.
Someone's going to get him, because, he'd done it like Sats used to break a lot of jaws himself.
So
Sats put it on, but the bloke come back, and because he was so tall, and Sats used to wear a big, thick mouth guard, like a big boxer's mouth guard. Yeah. And if he'd have hit Sats up in the chin, it would have cushioned the shock. But because Johnny, what was his name again? Johnny...
got it here. It's got it here. I'm going to find it.
Yeah, anyway, because he was
John Buckwell.
John Buckwell, because Johnny was so tall, he smashed him downwards and he's ripped his whole jaw apart.
Wow.
He ripped it there, there, and there. And when he went to talk, like he had the first floor on the basement floor.
Wow.
I thought, geez, you'll break your jaw, mate. He said, all right. Anyway, we're going into half time. I said, mate, you got to go off. He said, I'm not going off.
And he played with it, did he?
Yeah, he said, I'm staying on. We said, mate, he said, don't play around me, otherwise I'll give you one of these and you'll have one. So we said, okay, and first up, in the first play the ball in the second half, when he came, we threw the ball to him. I think I threw the ball to him. And Pogo Morgan's gone whack and hit him straight across the face, and I thought, oh, that'll be the end of him now. It smashed it to pieces. Anyway, lo and behold, he got up and played the ball, called Pogo Morgan everything under the sun. And then after the game was over and we won, he'd done that speech. Then we done a lap of honour, which they do in those days. And when the game finished, he called Johnny Martin over, who was one of our community. And back in those days, the cricket ground, I don't know if they still got it, but in the end dressing room was a bath in the corner. And he said that Johnny Martin put the bath on in the corner for me after the game. And Johnny's gone in anyway. He's gone in there when the game's finished. We've all spraying champagne over each other, and all the press in those days could come in the dressing room. They'd come in and all come over and they're saying, Sats broke his jaw. I don't know what you're talking about. Because that night they were picking the side to go to England for the World Cup, and Sats would have been the captain.
Wow.
Anyway, so we said, oh, he's in the bar. Anyway, they're over by the door and saying, oh, you're right there, John. And Sats is going, yeah, I'll be out in a minute. Anyway, after about 5 minutes, Clive Churchill come in and he said, John, he said, you've got to come out, mate. He said, these blokes got to print their stories by 6 o'clock for the papers the next day, the Sunday papers. He said, yeah, I'll be out in a minute. And all of a sudden the door opened, we all looked over, and he went to say hello, and his whole jaw fell down again. And I went and saw him in the hospital during the week, and I said to him, what was you doing in the freaking dressing in that bath? He said, I was pushing it all back into place, hoping I'd get on the kangaroo trip, and he said, when I spoke, he said, it all fell apart again.
So he would have gone. So
he would have gone away.
He was like obviously really tough. I mean, there was
that was tough.
But you all were right.
Yeah, I don't think I played with a broken jaw. No, I didn't break my jaw. I didn't ever break my nose, thank God. Either. I used to get it stung a fair bit because it's a bit big.
Yeah.
But mate, we knew he was tough because I remember the first time he come down. Where East Gardens is now, that used to be General Motors Holden. That's where they made the Holdens.
Yeah.
And he worked out there when he come down from Newcastle. He worked out there on the assembly line. And I remember we were playing Parramatta up at the old Cumberland Oval, and he was signing autographs and had his arm in plaster. And I was walking past him, and I said, "You all right, Sats?" I was only 18 then. He must have been only 20. And I said, "You all right?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "What have you done?" He said, "Oh, I dropped the bloody engine on my arm last night on the assembly line."
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, well, how long are you out for?" He said, "Oh, I'm playing." I said, "You can't play with that." He said, "No." He said, "I'll be right." So we gone in the dressing room, and in those days there was no doctors. They used to have a box there, and the box had smelling salts, bandages, scissors, and all that.
That was the doctor.
That was the box, and he's got pulled the box out of the bloody what's the name, and he's got the scissors, and he's cut the plaster off.
Wow.
He's gone out there and played, and when the game was over, I think we won and all that, and we're all sort of happy. And I said to him, "What are you going to do about your arm?" He said, "I'll go back to South." The South Sydney Hospital was alive then. He said, "I'll go back to South Sydney Hospital and get it plastered up again."
Wow.
He done that for the week and then played again the next week.
Was he the toughest player that you've ever kind of seen?
It's all pain, yeah. I mean, I think I remember one day there, like, you know how dark he was? He had a complexion as good as yours. And he was white coming to the scrum, and we were both playing second row together. And he was coming to the scrum, and he was just white. And I said, you right, mate? And he went, "My elbow's killing me." And I looked down his elbow, and it was poking out here.
Wow.
I said, "You dislocated your elbow, mate. You've got to go off." He said, "Oh, no." He said, "I'll wait till half time." So he waited till half time, and he come off, and then the guy, one of the strappers, because we had no doctors, and the strapper just got his arm, and he pulled it like that. And it all goes back into place. Now, if I'd have known that, I'd have done that in the field for him.
Yeah.
Save him all that pain.
Yeah.
But he still had it all torn, and all the rib around there was all torn and all that.
Yeah.
But he still played on. Just strapped it up. Went over.
Is he still alive?
No, he died.
He
Died last year. Yeah.
I'm just trying to think. Like when you've played with that many dislocations, broken bones. Obviously, you were mates with him for years. How did that affect him after the game?
Oh, it didn't worry him. Mate, you wouldn't believe after a game we used to go and get on the drink, and we used to just go to casual like yourself, like I am now, and he'd have a suit and tie on.
Wow.
Coming from the country, he was well dressed and and he spoke well. And we'd all be drinking over there, and the girls would all be over there on their own and drinking and socialising, and we'd be all around the bar. And he'd be sitting there with these old women talking about dogs and cats and horses and that. We're saying, look at Sats. He's just killed 4 people today and figured he's over there talking about animals with these old people and that. He was just a country guy. Once the game finished, the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde went back into play. Yeah.
Wow, so he was almost like a superhero.
Superhero, He was great. And a great leader because, you know, he went forward, you had to go too, you know.
Yeah.
And he wasn't a big bloke. He was muscular, but he had a belly like a girl.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I could put my old arm around him when we played second row together. But he had big legs, monstrous legs on him, big muscle legs, and even his toes were big. He had big hands, like big hands, but he wasn't real big.
Yeah,
like he had a muscle definition, but as I said, his waist was about that big.
Yeah, wow.
And then when he went into the front row, because Gary Stevens come up and Paul Sate come up and Curdy was there, he had to keep going forward. And then he finished up going to the front row and he finished up Captain Australia from the front row. But he used to get out manoeuvred in the scrum because some blokes are real big and they'll twist him around and all that. Yeah. But somehow he used to adjust his feet to counteract the weight and all that type of stuff. No, he never wins at all, mate. Never said get him for me or whatever. And no, he's a tough bloke.
So when you look at the players today, like you see, there's a case against Mountie, the Bulldogs. I think there was another play that came out last week, and they're talking about just how tough training is. Like, do you sort of
it makes you cry, mate?
Does it? Yeah.
Well, the fitter you are, the better you play.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only common sense. And these guys saying we train too hard. I mean, well, piss off.
Yeah.
I mean, go and play.
Because the game was a lot. What I mean by the game was a lot tougher back in your day. You didn't have doctors. Yeah. You didn't have proper recovery sessions.
You didn't come off.
You didn't come off.
So you had to mark that guy you're playing against. And if you weren't fitter than, if you were fitter than him, you know you're going to wear him down because he might be as good as you as a player. Yeah. So the fitter you were, the more you could wear him down. It was like gladiatorial. But now these bloody blokes now are saying they train too hard. I mean, Madge. They reckon Madge trained them too hard. South should get Madge over there now before Manly do and say, mate, get every one of those players.
What do you mean before Manly do? Is he going to Manly?
No, but Manly will get a hold of him too because he knows how fit you got to be.
I hope he does. I love Madge.
He'll tell him, that bloke's not fit, get rid of him. Yeah. He's not fit. And you got to tell the blokes there now ain't doing the job. Because we're getting.
And look, Madge was known for that. You know when he's
they said he trained too hard. I mean, God, Jesus. Yeah. We used to love training. Yeah. It was like, you love training. I mean, it was all about you want to play sport, you got to train.
100%.
You know.
Well, you were there when Jason, Dimitri was there. Like,
I didn't know much about him.
Like you said, isn't he? I think we were talking.
Well, but it's all changed now because like Wayne Bennett's and those blokes of the world now, they stand there and they've got assistant coaches running the players. Yeah. See, Bennett's 74. He's nearly as old as me. Like
he'll be 75 next year.
He can't be running around, even though he does a lot of jogging. Yeah. Those skinny legs.
He'll be 75 next year.
He'll be 75.
What's he going to coach till 80?
Well, but he just stands there like that and he just watches. Then he goes in the room and they put all their vision together. Yeah. And he tells them what that should have happened, that should have happened, that should have. But out in the field, like in the old days, like you'd say, come on, you've dropped the ball twice. What, do you get something wrong with your fingers? Yeah. You know, you broke your hand or something, you know, something like that. I mean, you wouldn't drop the ball because, you know, you drop the ball twice, you go back to second grade. Yeah. I mean, you're not thinking about the game, you know.
So it was a lot tougher in terms of what the coach did. He didn't have the assistant coaches and all these other coaches.
Oh, we had second grade coach and third grade coaches.
Yeah, but you didn't have like a forwards coach, backs coach, and all that kind of stuff.
No, I don't think I'd like that either. I'd want to put my stamp on the whole lot. Yeah. You know, give second and third graders coach and let them have an input if they want to. Yeah. But the final thing comes down to you. You're getting all the money and you're the one that's going to get sacked. They don't sack the assistant coach. Notice that? Yeah. That's what I'd be doing. Get the assistant coach. They just seem to get picked up all the time.
I know.
They get picked up and everyone's after them, but, you know.
But, you know, when you look at Jason Dimitri, when he, we were talking about he won 11 games straight,
in a row, so he can coach.
Lost. Yeah. Like, what happens, like, how does a team go from winning 11 to losing the back half of the year?
With 3 buys up their sleeve. Yeah.
And then going into the start of this season.
Not making the 8. Mate, I just don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it. I went over there one day there a couple of months ago to give Cameron Murray his jumper. I looked around the place and everyone was sort of happy and in good spirits. They went out in the weekend and got beat by 50 by East. So something's happening somewhere along the line, and the only thing I can ascertain is that the fitness levels aren't there compared to the opposition. I mean, every week we get 30 or 40 put on us. Yeah. and the coach is still there, the defence coach. Well, I don't know what he's doing during the week. He's not helping them defend. I mean, one of the tries there last week against Penrith, the bloke scored from dummy half, just walked over.
Yeah.
And that one try the fullback scored from the length of the field when Souths were still walking back from the tap.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have happened in the schoolboys across the road there in the juniors.
Yeah.
They'd have got kicked up the bum. You know.
You were talking about the centre of excellence they've done over there at Heffron. Looks absolutely amazing. Do you think it's like too much like a hotel?
Well, mate, everything's
really
there for
nice.
them. I mean, they eat a lot. There's a lot of food there,
Yeah.
and I think that might be another contributing factor. That so they've got kitchens and they take bags of food up to them. Yeah. I mean, beforehand, like you might be able to get, if at work, you might be able to get away and get a sandwich.
Yeah.
They're getting all these meals there, and I know they burn it off, but they might be trained hard enough to burn it all off.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen Latrell there sometimes, and Cody, they don't look real fit to me. Like Cody got run down from behind by the little bloke.
He used to be fast, Cody.
I
He was
know.
hard to catch.
Well, they're not fit, mate, and you can see their jumpers. They're wobbling around a bit. I mean,
What are they
supposed
do
to-
you want me to go down there and have a look at the
well,
menu?
you got to, mate, your belly's got to be rock hard. You've got to be rock hard because the bloke you mark
They
is
should
rock
do a
hard.
pinch test or something.
Yeah, I mean, they might do them, but they must go from there back out eating hamburgers
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
You know, it's got to be you don't lose your football ability,
Yeah.
but other than your fitness.
Yeah.
So it's got to be that. I mean, Manly the last 2 weeks riding high in the first half. The second half they look like a team of girls. You know, not knocking girls, but knocking.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's some tough ones. Like Tanny seems like she's tough, but I don't know about the rest of them. Susie's pretty tough.
Oh no, she's pretty too.
She comes at me. I can't get away with much there.
Oh, it is. Yeah.
Now, let's go back to your career. We've spoken about South a fair bit, especially Wayne Bennett coming back, not being the best player, and making the Australian side. No, look, you have to have some sort of form to play, but you also need a bit of help sometimes, right?
Well, of course you do.
Some people earn it, and some people get a leg up, right?
It's happened down here too.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's a lot of blokes played for Australia, and they were a mate of a mate.
Yeah.
You know, and
I'm not knocking Wayne Bennett at all. I mean, I like giving it to everyone.
oh no, yeah. No, Wayne's good. He's good with South. I mean, he knows the history of the club.
Yeah.
And he plays on it. Like if I go and watch him train, me and Michael Cleary and George Piggins back when he was back here, before George got crook, he'd come up to the grandstand while they were all out there training. Come up and say hello, boys.
You know, actually, like when he was coaching the England side, he was up here training with the boys
Was he?
upstairs.
Yeah. I just can't believe how he'd be an Australian bloke. He's coached England and he's coached bloody New Zealand. I mean, what does he do when the national
He's been
anthem's been
everywhere.
singing? What does he sing that national anthem? God save our great.
So Australia, New Zealand, England.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't looked at the New South Wales job.
Well, he can't coach New South Wales. He's Queenslander.
So you're not
No,
allowed.
no, you wouldn't. I wouldn't trust him. No. Wouldn't trust none of those Queenslanders. No, mate. No.
But I'm surprised because he's been everywhere.
He's been everywhere. Yeah. Well, mate, if they offer it to him, he most well take it on. But
I'm
I know
surprised he didn't go to Parramatta just to say he's gone to another club.
Yeah, well, they mightn't have offered it snatch.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we got a lot of we
got money.
We got two billionaires sitting back,
Sitting there,
and they might have a bit of influence on things too because he's into the farming.
yeah.
He's into the bulls and the pigs and the whatever he's got out there. What else he have? Sheep, cows.
These are great
I
stories
couldn't
about Wayne Bennett. Do you know all this about Wayne Bennett? Hey, this is your coach next year, mate. He's a farmer. He's coming down.
He's a farmer out at Warwick.
He may as well take the players down there and fucking whip them, mate.
Yeah,
That's what you need at South.
yeah. Well, him and
I'm going to
Latrell.
get crucified for this from the South Sydney supporters. Are going to probably come after me.
Well, Latrell's got a farm up at Taree.
Has he?
So him and Wayne are in. They talk a lot about.
Didn't they, Jason Demetriou, go over there and
put
paint
the
his fence?
Put the fences up or something.
Put his fence up?
Yeah, I know.
When have you heard about that, a coach going there and put your fence
mate,
up?
I couldn't imagine
Would
that.
you have done that?
No, I would have if he would have paid me. I would have done it for nothing, just for a couple of beers. I mean, how long was the fence? It might have been 2 miles long or something. But Wayne, Wayne was always. He come from Toowoomba, and he's always into the. I couldn't live that lifestyle.
Yeah.
I've been brought up on the beaches, been coming
But
to
that's
Coogee
why,
since-
like, when you've been brought up on a farm like that and then you're going to Brisbane, you're going to the Dolphins, like, aren't you missing?
traffic? Yeah,
you're like,
you can't get stuck in traffic. you'd be thinking, I've got to get back to the farm, you know.
Yeah.
But I got brought up. We used to come out here on the old tram.
Yeah.
It was a penny on the tram, and we tried to keep our penny. We'd scale it.
Scale, yeah.
Yeah, we'd jump off the
What do
tram.
you mean scale? Like you're hanging off the side of the tram?
Well, in those days, the pram used to have a running board
Yeah.
along the thing, and everyone just sort of hang on the board, and then when the conductor would come around, we'd jump off the tram, and then when he jumped around the other side, we'd jump back onto the game because it'd take a while to get warmed up because it'd be full of people.
Yeah.
But everyone used to do it. No one had any money. They just jump on the pram. And when it was leaving Coogee, around the corner there opposite the pub, there used to be a big thing in the middle of the road there where they used to turn the tram around like a big rotating the rail line.
Just up the middle here.
Yeah, over there near
Over there.
over there near the pub, and then come around there. Then the first stop would be here. First stop would be there, but there used to be a big milk bar there.
Yeah.
We used to have rock and roll and everything there in where the motel is there. It was called
the
something.
Pav. You mean the pavilion? No.
No, it was back further. There was a big Johnny O'Keefe and all them famous singers back then used to sing there of a Sunday afternoon. You could hear them from the beach singing, and that's where the trams left from. And the first stop was here, and people would go there first, and they'd pick them up here, and we would get on, and people would be hanging on to people. You see, like in Japan, where they get on trains.
Yeah.
Well, the next stop up, where the pub is.
Yeah.
What's the pub up the road there?
The Coogee Bay.
It was called further up. It was called the old Oceanic back in those days. Now it's called the.
You mean the Crown Plaza?
Crown Plaza,
yeah.
That used to be called the Oceanic. That used to have all stairs out the front.
Yeah.
And people used to drink out there and look out over the beach.
Wow.
And,
So that road didn't exist there, did it? That was like a.
No, this road was here. There was no road over there.
Right across the road, that's right.
Yeah, that was where they used to park their cars.
Cars, yeah.
Yeah, and.
So Arden
good old
Street
days. Yeah.
was where the car park was. That wasn't a road.
No.
Yeah.
No, Arden Street was, but Beach Street wasn't.
Oh, Beach Street wasn't. Yes.
Yeah, and bloody good old days.
That was a good old days. So
these
what
old
did you do?
trams.
Jump on the tram.
Jump on the tram.
You wouldn't
and
pay the penny.
No, you didn't
and
pay
you'd
the
be
penny.
you'd be hanging off the outside.
Yeah, hanging on the outside.
Anyone fall off that?
You did, but it wasn't going fast.
Wasn't going
Well,
fast,
it did have a million people on it.
Yeah.
It was sort of creeping up, and you used to go around the corner, Havelock Avenue up there.
Yeah.
And you'd get off and you'd walk up there faster than the tram.
Yeah, wow.
And jump back onto it again at the next stop, you know what I mean?
How far did the tram go? It didn't go all the way to Redfern.
Went to Circular Quay and went to Redfern.
Wow.
Yeah, went to Redfern. I'd jump off at Redfern there at the Bat and Ball Hotel where I lived.
Yeah.
And just down the road.
So they got rid of the trams to bring the trams back in. They can't even get further to where they used to get to.
Yeah, and
That's unbelievable.
now it only goes to Reddingwick and it doesn't go out to Coogee anymore. So if I've got to go into town, I've got to get the bus, get off at Redfern, get off at the top there at Randwick, and get the light rail into town and do the same thing coming back. Get off it at Randwick and then get the bus back down to Coogee.
Yeah.
I mean, that's stupid.
Stupid.
Used to go out to Laparoos.
Yeah, wow.
Used to go
With
to
the tram?
Yeah, went to Maroubra Beach.
Can you believe that?
Went all the way out to
This
Lapa.
is the best part about this. You're getting proper history here.
Yeah, went to Laparoos, went to Bondi Beach.
Wow.
I don't think I went to Bronte. I could have gone to Bronte. But I think...
if it done Bronte, man, that would have been unbelievable.
Yeah, Bronte. Not many people went to Bronte in those days because it still is. There's so many rips there.
Yeah.
I've been to Bronte twice in my whole life and I nearly drowned twice.
Really?
Yeah, there's rips going everywhere there and it's too dangerous, but people still go down there.
Yeah.
A lot of people that can't even swim jump in and all of a sudden they're being saved, you know?
Yeah.
Or drowned.
Look, I remember Bronte when I was a kid. It was one of those types of beaches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I think Maroubra was known for the blue bottles as well.
Yeah.
But I used to get down to Coogee a bit when I was living in East Lakes.
Yeah.
But I'm here all the time now.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm here.
Yeah, I know. Coogee used to have a wharf out there, don't you?
I remember the wharf.
The wharf goes...
I mean, that would have been mad back in the day.
Yeah, well, that
Mate,
was...
you just had a... What kind of... You
well,
had an unbelievable life.
This was before me.
Yeah.
This was back when the women used to wear long dresses on the beach. They couldn't show any skin.
Yeah.
And you'll see the photo up in the Ram.
How did they build wharves back then and they can't build them now?
I don't know. Well, it went straight out. And on the wharf was... they used to have like plays and that there, you know, and shops and all that.
Wow.
And a big net went across to the surf club.
Yep.
And you swim in there.
Yep.
And if there was any, they didn't have surf skis until that Hawaiian bloke come into play. What was his name? Duke Okanuka or some bloody thing.
Oh, was there a Hawaiian guy?
He started all the surfboards off over in Hawaii.
Yeah.
And then everyone sort of picked it up, but that was like a big pool there.
Yeah.
Until this.
So the wharf was before you were born.
Oh yeah,
Really?
Just got wiped out about 1928 or something.
Oh,
Big seas. So seas we don't get big seas there because of Wellington.
Wedding Cake Island.
Wedding Cake Island.
Yeah.
It stops the big seas coming. But they must have had a real big sea back there in the 1920s or 30s, wherever it was, and it wiped the whole thing off.
Wow.
And you can still see sometimes when the sand gets washed back, you can see the pylons.
Yeah,
You ever
you
noticed
can.
that? You can see the pylons.
You're right. I've seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen that before. Yeah. So, your rugby league career. Obviously, it was probably the biggest part of your life, right? Like, one of the things that everyone talks about is why isn't Bob an immortal, right? And they talk about Ron Kit in the same breath, right? If you look at some of these players that have become immortals, honestly, does something like that play on your mind a bit?
Sometimes it does, and sometimes I couldn't care less. But you know, I played against a lot of those immortals, and you know, they didn't do anything different to me.
Yeah.
But mate, you know, it is what it is. Some people either likes you. I mean, I didn't get picked for Australia for a few years.
Yeah,
I had blokes dirty on the way I played because I was scoring tries and I wasn't supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in there putting my head down and get my ears or cauliflower to my nose put over my face.
Yeah.
And I had other skills that I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And I didn't get picked for a couple of years. Then when they picked me, finally, they didn't pick me, Bobby Fulton or Arthur Beetson.
Wow.
And two of those finished up being immortals. And then they came out 2 years later and said, well, we all finished up captain Australia.
Yeah.
They came out and said, we made a mistake.
Wow.
And then we got picked for every rep side we were always in then, you know, then we used to do all right in them. But, mate, it's you know, some people, if they like you or they don't, you know, I had someone, a bloke at Souths that didn't like me.
Yeah.
He never ever spoke to me. I used to nod to him sometimes and he'd nod back, but that was about it. And he was an Australian selector. His name was Dave Watson. He was, you know, and I never got picked. And he could pick me because I was doing good things for Souths.
Yeah.
But he didn't like the way I played. I should have been getting bashed up a bit more.
Yeah.
And anyway, it didn't worry me because I was winning premierships and that was all you worried about.
Yeah. And obviously, like, you know, Ron Coote was kind of mentioned in the same same way.
Well, he's got to get picked. I mean, I played in 6 grand finals. He played in 9.
Wow.
I mean, that's a lot.
And why have they got something against Ron Coote as well?
Well, I don't know. I mean, we've won more premierships than anyone.
Yeah.
And we've got one immortal, Clive Churchill.
Yeah.
I mean, East have only won 14 immortals comps. They've got so many. St George only won 7.
Yeah.
They've got about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I mean, they must be dirty on South. I mean,
They
we must
must
have,
be.
in all those years we won comps going right back to 1908, we won 24 or
And
whatever
he's
it is.
got one immortal.
One immortal. There must have been good players back in those years to win comps because we didn't just win them one, lose one, win one, lose one. There was about 4 or 5 years at a time.
Yeah.
So you've got to have good players to do that.
Of course.
Like, you know, to have eras like that. They had it in the 20s and the 30s and the 50s.
Yeah.
They got one player, and that Clive Churchill.
It doesn't make sense.
And
to me.
we were in 6 grand finals. We got none.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, there's something there that's not working right. You know?
Yeah.
So hopefully that. Well, it won't. I don't think. Well, my turn's gone now. There's so many.
Yeah, but
So
how can
many-
it be gone? Like, honestly, like, if you look at the history of the game, you've got to look at the history of the game.
Yeah.
If you look at, you know, sports in America, whether it's the NFL, whether it's the NBA, you got the past players that were recognised, you know, the present and future, right?
Yeah. But
It's great. Look, I believe it's great recognition for the blood, sweat, and tears that you've put into the game.
Oh well, you know, you'd like
Not
to
only
get.
that, you've been, like, obviously in administration. You've also been.
Well, I was chairman of selectors for Australia. I was
Yeah.
chairman of selectors for the judiciary. Like I've done work on the admin side too. But mate, it is what it is. But they either like you or they don't. You know.
Yeah.
And it'd be good to have it done, but you know, I'm in the Hall of Fame and all that type of stuff, so that sort of does you. You know, it's something similar.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Now, let's fast forward to this year. Who do you think's going to win the grand final? Who do you think the top 3 or 4 teams can be? Manly's definitely out. South is out.
Yeah, I like the Roosters and Penrith. They've got the 2 most vicious defence, and that wins grand finals.
Yeah.
And I think, well, Penrith have been there the last 4 years. They know what it's all about. The Roosters have been there twice in about the last 6 years. They know what it's all about, and they're, you know, you got to defend.
Yeah.
And a lot of clubs are good with the ball, but you know, when it comes to defence, they're very ordinary. But the Roosters, and I mean, that's why the Roosters knock each other out. You know, we've got 3 or 4, haven't we, that's had concussion bad because they go in not thinking what they're doing. They just go in ball and all, and you got to keep your head out the way.
Yeah.
If you put your head there, it's going to get knocked around.
Yeah.
And they just come in so crazy how they got them all set up over there. And I think their defence is going to be hard to beat. And Penrith have already showed that they know what to do.
Yeah.
When they play grand finals, they don't let you score many points.
Do you think Gusgall had a lot to do with the nursery over there? No.
It was all been done before he got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's taking all the credit though.
Of course he would. He keeps on wrapping himself being the only coach to win
He's all over
State
that
of
one,
Origins.
mate. You know what?
But he's only
get
coached-
the inside scoop.
Is the only one to lose to the State of Origins too, with the best players in the world
That's
on his
true.
side.
Yeah.
Remember Paddy Vorton? He had a team of kids that,
Well, didn't Penrith start winning when he left?
because they did.
Yeah.
He'll start taking credence for Canterbury now.
Yeah, I know.
It's the coach and the players they got that's doing the trick. But he got beat by in State of Origin. He keeps on saying he won this and won that more than it, but he got beat by the worst Queensland side ever. Fatty Vorton was the coach. And he had Freddie Fiddler, Laurie Dale. He had the best.
everyone.
Andrew Johns, the best
Yeah,
players in the
Andrew
world with
Johns,
his side, and they got beat 3-0, wasn't it?
That's right.
Remember
it was.
Ben Eichen? They didn't even know who he was when he turned up in the lift. They said, "Oh, you got to, what's the name? You got to go downstairs if you want autographs." He said, "No, I'm in the team."
Yeah.
Remember that? They didn't even know. They didn't even know who he was.
Let me ask you a question, Bob. You know when you see these guys, do you tell them straight to their face sometimes?
What?
Do you give it to some of these guys? when you
Oh,
see
I
them?
don't talk to Phil Gill.
No.
I wouldn't talk to him. I don't like him.
No.
I don't
But
like-
you know, like and if I look back at your career and your life, you played in one of the toughest eras.
Yeah.
You played with some of the toughest players. You scored over 100 tries, and not only that, like playing alongside Johnny Sattler, who would have to be one of the craziest, right? Would you
gotta
say
be
he's one of
crazy.
the craziest?
Oh, you got to be crazy to do what he does.
Well, yeah. To play in an era where South was so dominating, it's hard for someone like you to go, that guy's all right. It's because you had such a high standard, a high level. You played with some of the best, the highest honours.
Yeah. We didn't have managers back in our days, but the way you set that all out, I wish you were my manager. You would have got me. You might have got me more money.
Why'd you go to Canterbury for?
Well, South told me that I wasn't as good as I used to be,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, that'll do me. I wish I had 14 years there. I was happy.
Yeah.
13 years there, 14 years there, and I was over Giles's there one day training, and I saw this bloke coming along the pathway. That pathway over there.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, this bloke looks like... I was sitting out in the sun. I just had a workout with Les Motto and Gary Stevens, and we're sitting out in the sun just sunbaking. And I thought, this bloke coming across the park looks like Peter Moore from Canterbury, And I thought to myself, well, people that know Peter Moore, he wouldn't be walking across the thing coming to a gym.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
he smoked heavily and drank scotch. He always had a glass of scotch in his hand.
Yeah, Bullfrog.
Yeah, Bullfrog. Anyway, he come over and I said, oh, Bullfrog, what are you going to do? I'm going to have a sea bath, hot sea bath. He said, no, I'll come to see you.
Yeah.
And I said, what's up? He said, oh, I want you to play with Canterbury. I said, oh, no. I said, I'm finished, mate. It's all over. He said, no, I've got all these young kids there, the Mortimers and the Hughes and all these young kids coming through. He said, I want you to lead them. And I said, mate, I couldn't play against South. He said, oh, well, there's an offer there for you if you want to. Anyway, I went home and thought about it for a couple of weeks. And Gary Stevens said to me, are you going to play with Canterbury? And I said, I think I'll pull the pin. He said, you may as well. He said, you're still fit, and that. And I said, oh, yeah. Anyway, I rang up, said to Judy, what do you think? She said, well, you must keep you going. You want to keep going. So I went there and I had 2 years with him, and that's when South found out I had signed with him. And Charlie Gibson rang me up, the CEO, and he said, have you signed with Canterbury? I said, yeah. He said, oh, we'll match their offer. I said, Charlie, you've been mucking around with me for the last 3 months. I said, no, it's all over. He said, I'll come around right now and give you a contract. He said, have you signed a contract? I said, no. I said, I've given me word. He said, well, I'll break that. I said, I don't care what they do. I said, I'm not breaking mine. I said, you've been mucking me up for the last 2 or 3 weeks playing on my loyalty. And I said, no, it's all over. I'm playing for them. Anyway, lo and behold, I had 2 good years at Canterbury. I scored 19 tries or something. And out of the blue, I was down Giles again one day there, and the phone rang, and South were on the phone, and they said, oh, we want you back at South. We need a run in second rower. I said, you told me 2 years ago I was too old. He said, we want you back. And anyway, I went back there and Jack Gibson was a coach and I finished up ripping my shoulder out and I was 36 or something. So I thought it was time to put the feet up and sit on the hill with all the boys, you know.
Yeah. And finally, what was Bullfrog like? Like, I mean, he was like the heart and soul of the Bulldogs,
he was,
wasn't
mate.
he?
Mate, he was all about looking after everyone.
Yeah.
Because he had about 15 kids or something, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But he was a bad bugger too. He remember one year there we went to San Francisco and we stayed at this pub for a couple of nights and I forget the name. It was a real famous pub and up on the top floor, he occupied the first top floor, was President Jimmy Carter. And he had all these, no one was allowed up there, he had all these SS men, you know, with the blokes talking into their shoulder. And they were walking around the place. Anyway, we've gone out this night and had something to eat and coming back. And I thought I could smell something and Billy Noonan touched the lift going up in the lift and he said, the lift's pretty hot. And I said, that's the motor, that's the motor of the lift. So we got out of our floor and there was all smoke billowing down and all of a sudden someone's whacked the button and bing, 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 bing. And then all the SS men from upstairs with Jimmy Carter come running down and the fire brigades turned up and Johnny Peake got the axe off one of them and he's chopping all these doors down. Anyway, we finished up following the smoke all the way around the alleyways and we come to the bedroom and kicked the door in and there was Bullfrog laying on the bed with his underpants on with a smirk on his face and he's got a smoke in his mouth and I said, what happened? He said, I fell asleep and he said, the mattress caught on fire so I threw it in the shower. All the smoke turned off the things. So the bloke the manager come up and he said, get out of my hotel, you have ruined my hotel, get out of my hotel. I said, mate, hang on a sec. I said, we're going tonight in the morning, let us stay the night. He said, no, get out. I said, where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? He said, you're gone. He said, get out. And I said, mate, just hang on a sec. So I whispered in his ear, how much do you want? And he went, I forget what he said anyway. I went down and saw Barry Nelson who had the checkbook and I said, Barry, go and see that manager. He wants to
sort it out.
Pay for the damages. So I don't know what he gave him. Anyway, then in the morning they just went like that. So we had a bed to sleep in until the morning. And don't know what happened to Jimmy Carter upstairs.
Because that's pretty big when you got the Secret Service and Jimmy Carter.
Jimmy Carter running around, yeah.
Did Bullfrog know he was there? No,
we all knew.
You all knew.
Yeah, but he just fell. He got on the drink and gone home, and he's must have had a smoke, and he's laying in bed, his undies, and he's fell asleep, and it's caught on fire. So he's got the mattress and threw it in the shower, turned the fire on, and set off all the alarm bells.
Yeah.
But the smoke was coming through the rooms, you could smell it, and Johnny Peake was smashing the doors down. And I remember I ran past one American bloke and his missus, they came out in their pyjamas saying, I'll never stay in this hotel again. St Francis Drake, that was the name of the hotel. It was a famous hotel.
Mate, how many years ago? You got a good memory still.
Yeah, well, I still got it.
You're still sharp.
Well, I still do crosswords and that of a date on.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a lot of my mates are now, they've played in those great sides. They're either dead or they've got dementia. So there's only myself and Ron Coote and Mike Cleary around that still sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I still work a couple of days a week sometimes for Suttons. I might take a car up to Newcastle, get the train back, and people will say, can I get a photo taken with you? And I'm talking to them. And I do the crosswords of a day time and I go to the gym. Yeah. Someone's always talking to me. So my brain's not dead yet, you know. I'm still moving.
Not only that, like, I mean, I've known you for a while now, and every time I speak to you, I go, mate, this guy tells a story the exact same way every single time, and it's so descriptive that I feel like I'm living in the moment. Yeah. And you do that extremely well. I'm going to let you go, Bob, because I know that you got the Johnny Lewis at is it the Clay Valley?
Clay Valley Surf Club, yeah.
Thanks a lot, man. That was entertaining.
Yeah, no
Kenny,
worries,
did you
mate.
like those stories? Fuck, bro.
I know.
He's a legend, bro.
Should write a book.
Legend.
Mate, yeah.
He should be an immortal.
I know.
And I'm going to do a petition or something.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm still good, mate, is I come here and train.
Yeah.
You got to keep doing that. Yeah. Got to keep
What
coming.
about when we'll take another Bobby and we've done all these changes? Do you think these guys are nutcases? They're going to go broke?
Well, I just didn't think it did.
Did you think it were nutcases?
There's 4 floors in there, a bloody gym. I mean, you only need a couple of machines, don't you? There's a machine for every muscle in your body.
You know what saved our relationship? When I kept hiring news reporters at the front desk.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to aspiring rugby players and coaches who want to excel in the sport?
Well, you've got to like it to take it on. It's not. Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's not even though a million people play it every weekend, it's still not an easy game. It is an easy game to play, but it's hard, and you've got to like it. I mean, if you're young and you like tackling, you don't like tackling, you got to tackle, because that's part of the game. Just get there, learn the fundamentals. Don't put your head in front, like you see a lot of blokes do. Put your head to the side. Always do the fundamentals, and then you'll find once you score your first try, when you're a littlie, you might be a bit shy of touching the ball. Then when you score your first try, they can't take it off you. And it's good to see sometimes those young kids over here when they've all scored a try each, and you can't get it off them.
Yeah.
They all want to score, and that's good to see kids like that coming up through the thing. But, you just got to keep training hard, because everyone can't make it. There's only 13 in the side or 17 in a thing. But you just got to persevere. If you don't make it the first time, get out and train hard and just put the effort in on the field, and no one knows what's around the corner.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, a little boy from Redfern, I've got an MBE from the Queen.
That's insane.
Wow.
Yeah, so I've, a little boy from Redfern, I've captained Australia. I know Mets.
Wow.
I know Susie.
You know me now?
I know you now.
You know what's
I know.
what's unbelievable? Like when you're sitting down.
Can I turn that back on again?
Yeah, of course.
I think someone might be trying to ring me.
When you're sitting down with someone like Bob, and he's such a legend of the game, and like being in the business where I am, like it doesn't happen that often. But you got to put the work in. You got to build something that's amazing, and then you can be around great people like Bob. And Bob's the type of guy. There's a lot of people, mate, he gives it to. So to be able to be around him and have these types of conversations, that meant a lot to me.
Oh, it's good, right?
Have you got any questions for him, Kenny? This guy's your club, bro. He's just fucking having a couple of the things that are happening right now. This is your club, bro.
Secret.
Mate, I've took St George tomorrow. I can't believe it.
Did you?
Oh, well, it's $1,400. I won the last two.
Yeah.
Won the last two comps.
Yeah.
I'm in, and I'm down trailing a bit because I keep taking Souths. I'm coming about. My missus in front of me.
Actually, this is a funny one. To all the girls out there, you know Nico Hines?
Yeah, Nick.
Is
Yeah.
he truly as good looking as you see?
Well, there's something wrong with his teeth, isn't it?
There is, eh?
I always say to my missus, why didn't his mother fix his teeth up? Because
Because
he's got a nice face, and then he goes like that, and he's got all these gaps there and whatever.
And he's got so much money to fix him.
I know.
It's like,
Sam
come on.
Burgess. Sam Burgess, you ever see Sam? Sam's real good looking, but he's got the buck teeth. When he was a kid, why didn't his mother get all his teeth all fixed up?
Yeah.
You know?
Or even Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe, we don't see much of him.
Yeah, what's the go there? You got anything about
Well,
Russell
mate,
Crowe?
Russell Crowe, when I was a kid, when I was playing at Souths, he was a kid. Apparently, he said that when he was little, he ran on the field once and he used to feel my legs up. Remember after the game, the kids would come on? He used to feel my muscles in my legs. And someone said to me there one day, some radio TV bloke, something says, "Oh, Russell Crowe apparently touched your legs when you were playing." I said, "No, I hope that's all he touched." I said, he didn't talk to me there for a while. Yeah.
Do you talk to him much at all?
We don't see him.
No, you don't
He's
see him at all.
overseas making movies. You don't.
Well,
see
what
him.
about when he came in once and he done that and he done that? You know,
Oh, that,
famous
yeah,
thing?
I know. But against
Was
the
that-
Roosters,
Was that just for the cameras?
yeah.
Because he thought he was in
He just
Hollywood.
done that.
Is that a Hollywood thing?
Yeah, it was a movie he done.
Gladiator.
Gladiator, yeah, he done that. Yeah. But mate, yeah, we don't see him. But we've got two billionaires there, and they don't become the trainer.
James Packer and
James Packer and Cannon Brooks.
yeah, wow.
Cannon Brooks has dropped a bit of money this year,
Yeah.
but he's he don't come to the thing. But he sends his PA there to the meetings.
How important is it for those guys to come there and get seen, for the players to go, hey, fuck, this is who we are, this is our club? I mean, I'm sure Manly does the same with Penn.
Yeah.
Is Penn around?
Well, he lives in New York.
There you go.
But with Russell, the other two blokes, mate, they've got people there that sort of come to the meetings. But it'd be good to see him come there one day just to see, you know.
I've got to ask you this final
but they
question.
don't put any money in.
Yeah. Well, did you ever meet Kerry Packer back in the day?
Oh yeah.
What was he like?
Terrific bloke.
Yeah.
He used to follow South
Did he? Yeah.
until Bobby Fulton took him to Roosters.
Wow.
So he said to Ronnie Coote one day when Ronnie Coote had the McDonald's up the cross. He used to call in there and have a cup of coffee with Ronnie, you know, on the way through, going down to where he lived at Bellevue Hill.
Yeah.
He said Ronnie Coote said he called in there one day and he said, having a cup of coffee. He said, "Hey, Ronnie," he said, "I'm going to ask you something." He said, "What's that?" He said, "Have you ever seen a better running second row? Now, you ever seen a better running forward than Bobby McCarthy?" And Ronnie said, "Yeah, I have." And he said, "Who? Dick Huddart?" And he said, "No, me."
He had to give himself a rap,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, well, he was a good
Had to jump
good
in,
yeah,
yeah.
he was a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
runny, runny kid. Jesus,
Yeah.
he was a bloody good
Yeah.
try scorer.
Well, Bob, thanks a lot.
No worries, mate.
I appreciate your time. Fuck, great stories, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew a few of them, but
Yeah.
not all of them, mate.
Yeah.
Bob's like the way he tells a story, mate. Fucking, it's
My favourite
amazing.
one's the one we didn't get in camera. The
Oh,
rooftop
hey,
is
tell us
place.
about the rooftop.
Oh, the
mate.
rooftop. Yeah.
Tell us the story because you knew this building before we took it over.
Well, this used to be the
Yeah.
old City Sports Club,
Yeah.
and everyone used to go to Giles's and train over there, all the older people, or younger people too, and play handball and what have you. And they'd come across there in the afternoon and watch the floor show. There was a floor show on,
Yeah.
and after the floor show, we'd go upstairs and have a Chinese, and there was only two blokes working there. Like there was the bloke that took your order and the chef out in the kitchen.
They get the food out fast enough?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it was only a little bit as big as this.
Yeah,
It was only a little thing, but not many people ate. But
Yeah.
they come in to drink and
Yeah.
watch the floor show. But this day, me and my father-in-law, we were out watching on the top of the roof watching the game across the road, and he went to go and get a beer, and as he come up to go through the doorway, he just happened to look like that, and he's seen the bloke down doing the business on the girl, and he's going, Bobby, and I said, what's up? And he said, come here, and I thought, well, what does he want? I thought he wanted some money, I said, what's up? He said, Bob. And there was a bloke, he's got the women, he's friggin' big tongue going, and all of a sudden,
How old were you? Were you like,
I was about 20 or 30 or
That
something.
was a pretty good show.
Yeah. Anyway, there was one Chinese alongside me, and I'm thinking, oh, well, he's not in the shop. And all of a sudden, there's another one. And then all of a sudden, there's another one. There's another one. They must have been hiding in the cabinets. And they're all out there, all going, oh, we said, shh. And the bloke sort of, the girl's gone, quick, stop. And she pulled the bloody bloke's head away from her.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
then he's jumped up and she put the towel over it because we tried to see what she looked like so you saw down the street, you knew we could.
Yeah.
You know what there, love? Want to go back on the roof again? Oh, she was enjoying it. Yeah. We spoiled it for her. The poor bloke didn't know what was going on. She pulled his head up and he's going, what's going on? She think he'd be safe there, like out of the way. Yeah. Mostly didn't think anyone was on the roof,
Far out.
Yeah. Yeah, good
Anyway,
old
Bob,
days.
thanks a lot. I
No
love
worries,
that
mate.
last story, and mate, I'm going to see you around the club
Yeah, mate. I'll
Thanks.
see you Monday.
for sure.